My presentation will focus on the current situation right now and what is the expectation of tourists, especially domestic tourists, while they are traveling with the current situations in our country. Yeah. All right. Next. Okay, just to share with you the first of all the tourism performance for international and the domestic. Yeah, I will share with you and to focus on the arrivals and the receipts and how our performance for the last year and this year. Okay, this information is from the United Nations World Tourism Organizations, UNWTO. As you see that in 2019, the international tourist arrival was 1.5 billion worldwide, but in 2020, when the pandemic started, it decreased to 381 million, a decrease of 74% of tourists moving around the world. Yeah? And for the Asia Pacific, there is a decrease of 84% in terms of the international tourist arrival. Well, then we connect to ASEAN from movement of tourist arrival into ASEAN was decreased by 82% in 2020. And for us in Malaysia, the international tourist arrival was decreased by 83%. Okay, in 2021, this one is this is for the period of January to July this year, and according to the UNWTO, they estimate that from January to July there is a decrease of 40% of international tourist arrival all over the world. Yeah. Uh, so and this is you can still felt the decrease of arrival all across over the world. Yeah. All right. Okay, just to share you the top tourist arrival to Malaysia in June 2021. Yeah, you can see here the number of arrivals totally changed before the pandemic and after the pandemic. Yeah, more or less we are start with the tourism industry from zero. From January to June 2021, the top arrivals is Thailand, followed by Indonesia, China, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, USA, Philippines, United Kingdom, and Brunei. For information, this is based on the people who come in just for a matter of essential purpose, and they have to get the permission from the Immigration Department of Malaysia. And you can see here in 2020, when you compare to 2019, the arrival was plunged by 83.4% in terms of international tourist arrival. The figure in 2020 was 4.3 million international tourist arrival. Yeah, and it also affect our excursionists or day trippers into Malaysia, a decrease of 80.2%, where we only received 1.768 million tourists excursionists. Sorry, and in terms of tourist receipt, also a decrease of 85.3% with a receipt of 12.688.2 million Malaysian ringgit. Okay, in terms of domestic tourist performance, yeah, Malaysian travels in our own country. This is based on the statistic by the Statistic Department of Malaysia. In 2020, the domestic visitors was 131.7 million, a decrease of 44.9%. This is before this, mostly the domestic tourism was good and always increase every year, but 2020 is the first time we see there is a decrease in the domestic tourist performance. This is because of the MCO during the year. Yeah, and in terms of number of trips also decrease. You can see there, and in terms of expenditure, It was only 40.4 billion Malaysian ringgit, a decrease of 60.8%. Well, since March 2020, it really affect the scenario or the way the tourism industry all over the world and including Malaysia. Yeah, especially when the lockdown start in March, it really changed the behavior and so on. Yeah, and these are what happened in the industry in terms of tourism. Uh, First, the hotels have to be closed temporarily, or some hotel closed permanently. Yeah, and some hotel being used by the for purpose of quarantine. Yeah, and also the airlines stop flying. Yeah, so this affect the total movement, the accessibility of international tourists and also domestic tourists in the country. Yeah, and it affect the some of the major airlines. Some of the airline has to lay off their workers and so on. Theme parks also closed. Travel agency has to turn to other business to survive. Yeah, they have to close their office. Yeah, and tour guide is not working anymore. They have to find another job and so on. Yeah, right. It really affects the whole mechanism of the economy of the country. And basically all over the tourism industry player experience the same problem. Yeah, where uh, the scenario of the MCO really affect the whole industry. Yeah, the whole change of the tourism industry. Okay, and this is something that I would like to share where uh, when this thing happened, these are the things that the Minister of Health remind to peoples, and this is something that we have to adhere until right now when in terms of our new way or new norm in our life right now to avoid the 3C, crowded places, confined spaces, and close conversations, and also to practice 3W, to wash our hand, to warn, so that do not exhale and so on, and to wear our mask. So these are something that the new way of life right now, which we are practice, especially in Malaysia. Yeah, but in some other country, this is not practice compulsory. Yeah, but in Malaysia, this is the way that we practice, and this is the way that even that in the tourism industry we have to adhere on this matter. Okay, and now we go into the tourism reopening, 16 September 2021, the beginning of a new step in the tourism industry where we open Langkawi as our pilot project. Yeah, especially for domestic tourism. Yeah, and this was a challenge for everyone. It was tested. Yeah, and we have to make sure everything ready. Yeah, with the SOP, with the given by the Ministry of Health. Yeah, and basically the output of the Langkawi is as follows. This is a record based on September 16 to 30th for 2 weeks. Yeah, for 2 weeks this year. Yeah, where 38,748 tourists, yeah, arrived in Langkawi during that period. Yeah, majority are through the Langkawi International Airport. Yeah, followed by the Kuala JT, and the revenue generated for the that 2 weeks was 15.97 million Malaysia ringgit. So with that in mind, it shows that that is a new way of Langkawi when it's open to domestic tourists, and with the all the SOP, with the new norms that we have to adhere for domestic tourists. Yeah. And these are some of the things that uh, all other industry players is doing. You can see there Malaysia Airline also uh, come up with their creative and their advertising to promote Langkawi during that period. And with the pricing they have, they really promote the destinations, but they also highlight the importance of the SOPs. Yeah. And this is from Malindo Air. You can see that there is a competition in the price of the destinations, yeah, flight to the destination. Okay, next. And this is by AirAsia. So beside that, yeah, these are some of the things that while we are new way of promotions is through the virtual tour. Yeah. So these are some of the things that you can find where zoo or some of the products using their creative way to promote their product while waiting for the openings of their products to public physically. And this is in the state of Malacca where they introduced the modern village, yeah, where they do have a virtual life, okay, and also another one is this one, my story of old Kuala Lumpur, all right, and this one is for the Kampung Baru in Kuala Lumpur where they have the virtual tour also, okay. And this is some other thing also. This one explore some of the website or some of the uh, where you can they share about the explore Malaysia virtually, yeah. And some site also here where they have a networking sessions. This one about old Kuala Lumpur, yes. And this also something about Kuala Lumpur, and this is about Langkawi, yeah, where they explore Malaysia on the niche segment, yeah. And as you know, this is something that when we have opened to domestic, now you can find the demand for domestic tourism start. Yeah. And when we open also to other destination, when the government open it to other destination, not only Langkawi, you can see the urge in demands of the domestic tourism. Everyone is looking forward to get out, especially people in Klang Valley, where uh, you can see that the percentage of the population are based in Klang Valley. There is an urgent demand for them to travel to another states. Yeah, and as a fact, the Mata Fair last week has resulted in a great demand for every states in Malaysia. You can see that, especially, but that is also a concern of the entrance to certain state. But however, mostly every state in Peninsular Malaysia, they're happy with the increase in the demand of for people to travel to the states. Yeah. And also you can see that nowadays also even the virtual there is an interactive travel fair also going on. Okay, what is the emerging tourism trends right now? First, the important that people are looking forward are the uh, health and hygiene. Yeah, this is something that we maybe it's not of concern before this, but nowadays wherever we go, this is something that people are really looking into as their first choice to make sure the place they go is following the present standard of health and hygiene in Malaysia. Yeah. Then second, the demand evolutions. The demand evolutions has changed totally compared to before the pandemic. Yeah? Nowadays, you can see that people are not looking for crowded places. People are looking for a more quiet place and to the beach or to the jungles. Yeah, to matter of fact, looking for ecotourism and so on. Yeah. Thirdly, innovations and digitalization. This is the new way of people. I think for the last a year and a half, you can see that people are now into digitalization, not only in tourism, but in all other aspects. And you can see that even in tourism, the destinations is really the way that we market the destinations, the product, and so on is into the digitalizations, and these are the way forward in terms of the system in the tourism industry, the marketing itself, and the product has to be more creative in digitalization. And also people are looking into sustainability. Yeah, this is something that the product itself has to be more sustainable. Okay. Trend that will define travel in 2021. Okay, these are certain things that might be of concern. First, you can see that in the first place, staycation. Uh, there is a demand for staycation. Yeah. Next, travelers seek for the great outdoor post-pandemic. Yeah. Especially to the national park, to the beaches, and so on. Thirdly, the group is a smaller in a smaller number, less group, more FIT itineraries. Yeah, people are looking going for travel for like with the small family numbers, or it can be with friends, or it can be with relative. Next, people are looking for experiential. Experiential tourism is something that people are looking into. It's not only just taking photo, but it's also how they can experience the culture, how they can experience the gastronomic, and so on. Yeah. So these are something that we are of concern and looking into. So the product must be very, very creative in order to attract, especially the millennials. Yeah. Next, the innovations, the unique destination will entice more travelers. Yeah. During the last 1 year, this is something that um, every product or every destination is looking for something new, something innovations, yeah, that can be created in order to get or to pull a pull factor to attract people or tourists to travel to their place. Yeah. Next, the rise of slow travel mindset, combining sustainable, authentic, and responsible experience. This is something that is you can get it the whole country, yeah. Especially you when you go out, you want to relax yourself. You don't want to rush moving around to one place or another. You want to go outside your normal residence just to relax yourself, and you have comfortable days or time with your close friends and so on. Yeah. Next is the millennials and Gen X are mostly likely to spend more on travel this year. Okay, this is something that people got more time. Yeah, and they're looking forward to travel, especially in our own country. Even the weekend for a short break also it can attract people just to get outside of their normal house, yeah, just to go outside and be a different place, yeah, to explain that. Next is digitalization as the enabler for travel. This I have mentioned before, the importance of digitalizations in the tourism industry as whole. And next, a shift in transportation expectation, no longer price driven, but best practice for safety protection. This is of concern of everyone. Yeah, okay. All right. Along the ways that during this scenario happen, so we are the government is doing their best also to create the demand for domestic tourism. Yeah, because we have to make sure that there are some efforts being taken in order to make sure that there is a demand in domestic tourism. Yeah, because nowadays people cannot move to another country yet or travel to another country. So it's important that to make sure that the economic is getting better, or we have to develop the economics by pushing the domestic demand. With that regards, we have introduced like several efforts being taken, yeah, such as the introducing the package rangsangan economy, or and also the package for the government servants and the government pensioners. So this has hopefully will create a demand for people to travel in Malaysia. Yeah, as at this moment you can see that especially during weekend and during the long holidays, you can see there is a demand nationwide, yeah, for those people, for Malaysians to get to travel within our own country, yeah. So hopefully this will continue, yeah, especially to make sure that the economics of the country is getting better with the stimulation of this domestic tourism. Okay, before I end my presentations, I will also share you with a video, yeah, which a promotional video that we create in order to promote the domestic tourism and with the SOPs. Please enjoy the video.
Dear traveler, welcome to Malaysia, a precious gem in the middle of Southeast Asia with its unique biodiversity, history, and culture. That's what Malaysia is all about. I take this opportunity to invite you to experience for yourself a country well known for its hospitality, with many different races living harmoniously together, and awesome sights that will amaze you. Memorable, pleasant, and safe vacations await you. Explore and enjoy our pristine rainforests, exciting cities, cool highlands, green countryside, secluded islands, and white beaches that have made Malaysia so appealing to visitors around the globe. Try our tantalizing cuisine that reflects our people and experience the vibrant and colorful cultures that make us so wonderfully different. It's all here in Malaysia. To make your stay rewarding and enjoyable, our industry players are offering a host of value for money packages and attractive deals. In order to curb the spread of the COVID 19 virus, guidelines and regulations are in place. Don't worry, all our hoteliers, tour operators, and product owners will be operating under a strict SOP. Health and hygiene will be of utmost importance. Do cooperate with us to practice the new norm, such as wearing your face mask, sanitizing your hands, and keeping a distance of 1 meter to keep yourself and others safe. Let's come together, support one another, and enjoy your holidays with peace of mind as your safety is our priority. Let's travel again. Malaysia is happy to welcome you.
Okay, that's the promotional video, and thank you very much. And I've also include here the QR codes for those who want to get a copy of our presentation just now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iskandar, for an interesting sharing. Now we will come to Q&A sessions. Is there anyone that have questions? Yeah, we have one question which is, as the government gradually open up the border, international flights will resume. Langkawi on the international travel bubble pilots plan. What are the factors that make Malaysia the preferred destinations for international travelers?
Okay, thank you very much for that questions. Actually, every country is doing their best right now. To open their borders. Yeah, the intention to open the borders among the country has been, I mean, since early of the part of the year. Yeah. However, for Malaysia, in the context of Malaysia, we use Langkawi as the pilot project for the international border to open, because we know that at least it can be controlled. If anything happens, we can control the arrival to Langkawi. Yeah. At this moment, yes, there is very at this moment, yes, the tourists that come to Langkawi, we can see that there is the demand start to increase again. Yeah, the tourists start coming to Langkawi since the on the 16th or 17th of this month, and hopefully the number will pick up in the next few weeks. Yeah, the most important thing is that we must show to the world that Malaysia is a destination with which have the SOP that can be recognized, and to make sure that their stay in Malaysia is stay safe, because from that moment onwards, from their arrive in Malaysia up until they go back, it's very important for us to show that the safety and the hygiene of the tourists is being taken care, and the responsible is not only falls on the on the government, but it's also falls on all other people. Yeah, including the destination itself. Yeah, that's why we always highlight hashtag kita jaga kita.
Yeah, understand. So now we have another questions, which is, what are the efforts Tourism Malaysia helps to restore domestic tourism revitalizations?
Okay. Actually, I have shared my this during my a little bit, yeah, during my presentation. However, one is the first effort that we tried to focus was the package ransangan economy. The package is ransangan economy, where we try to help to increase the demand of the domestic tourists. Yeah. So for that purpose, we are working closely with all the uh, non-government associations, the NGOs. Yeah, and it include the accommodations, the travel packages, okay, theme parks, homestay, and not to forget also the airlines. Yeah, for the last few months, these are the all these travel industry players have been working closely with us, and also with Shopee. Yeah, and also they all have their where they can really create a discount and so on, so that there is a demand for people to travel. Yeah, and we hope this can to make sure that people in Malaysia will consider to travel within our own country first. Yeah, and to explore our own country after being locked down in your own house and so on for the last a year and a half. Secondly, we also introduced the package penjawat awam, for government servants and also for the pensioners. Yeah, and we hope this can create. We have 457 packages. Yeah, and this there you can go online through our www.malaysia.travel, and you can see a lot of these packages and with a good offer in all states in Malaysia. So we hope this can really also increase the demand for domestic tourism. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Iskandar. And we have another question from Samuel. Can you share with us some of the insights on current domestic travel status?
Okay. Yes. In terms of domestic travel in Malaysia right now, I think it's in a good path. Yeah, good path. Yeah. I think you all know that there is a demand is everywhere. Yeah. And just now I have shared you my presentation that actually in the first place the statistic for last year was not so good, yeah, because we have been locked down. But now when we open, since we open Langkawi and open also to all states, yeah, when the government announced that, then you can see the movement in Malaysia itself, and everybody in the travel industry is all gear up for that kind of purpose, yeah. And even the presently Mata Fair, there's a success demand for them, that they can see that there is increase in the demand in domestic tourism from every state in Malaysia. And even for Tourism Malaysia, for the next 3 weeks, we are also working closely with Aeon, where we also having some booths where we bring in the tourism industry players to showcase their products, their hotel, which they offering good offers, yeah, and so that it really helps the domestic tourism. So for me, the way I see it, domestic tourism will, the next few months, I mean from now onwards until next year, it start to increase. Yeah, it start to increase. But it takes time to come back to the way we are in 2019.
All right. Mm, we can go through the comment. Um, Here, Mr. Zaidi comment.
Hmm.
Jom cuti-cuti Malaysia. Don't forget follow the SOP. Safe travel, everyone.
Yes, I do agree. Yeah, wherever nowadays, wherever you go, wherever you travel, yeah, whether it's a short haul or if you, I mean, if you go for just a short break or you going out for a long break, but please make sure this is something that everyone has to adhere the SOP. Yeah, wherever you go.
Yeah, and then we have a comment from Mirza to Liza. Kesana kesini, let's travel safe. Jom cuti-cuti Malaysia.
Yes, this is something for domestic tourism. Yeah. So we must make sure that Malaysians explore our own country first. There's a lot of things right now, the hidden gems of Malaysia, yeah, where you can explore, such as the you can see specials like caving, or you can explore the waterfalls, or you can explore gastronomic tours, yeah, where you can experience the culture and the foods of every place in Malaysia. So Malaysians should proud of ourselves. Yeah, if you haven't explored the whole country, now it's time for you to explore our own country.
Yeah. Mm, is there any questions from the floor? Okay, thank you for all the participating and active questioning. It's looks like we have covered all of our questions. So, Mr. Iskandar, is there anything else you did like to say before we conclude?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. And the most important thing, as I would like to repeat again, as for us in Malaysia, yeah, while you are traveling, please make sure that not to forget destinations, yeah, in our own country. So, jom cuti-cuti Malaysia in our own country, yeah, and please make sure we follow the SOPs.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Iskandar. Thank you for your time, your content, and your sharing.
All right, thank you very much.